Welcome to the Shellonomics Podcast, your source for pure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles entertainment, presented by King Mictus.
Okay guys, we have another marathon for you. We're going to be breaking down, give or take, 30 plus issues today with our good friend TMNT Talk Christian. We're wrapping up Tales of the TMNT, which has been a glorious journey. All four turtles have their own little micro series. There's a little sad news at the end when you get down to the 5 issues with the closing of Mirage. So sit back, relax, and strap it down. We got a lot of wild ones for you. So Christian, it doesn't get any wilder than Leonardo with his micro series, does it? Feel free to start on that one, my dude.
Yeah, man, that's a good start. If you remember, that was Tales of the TMNT Volume 2, number 5, when we had the story with Leonardo and how he got blinded by a rival ninja, and everything was in black and white. You know, all the characters were only white, so to see that, to show that Leonardo is really blind and he's fighting this ninja, and it was a really crazy story. And then they made a follow-up, a miniseries called Tales of Leonardo Blindside, which was a 4-part miniseries. And yeah, it followed that story, which was crazy, and it starts really crazy. Just in the first issue, the story is that Leonardo is scared that he never gets his sight back, and he's climbing up a tower, and he slips, falls, dies. That's the start of it. Great. And yeah, through all of this, they find, oh no, there's this mutant turtle. What's going on? And through all this, they find the turtles there. So the military and the science guys find the turtles there, and they find the turtles and Splinter. And yeah, all of them get killed in the end. And yeah, it was really crazy. The first time I read this, like, wait a minute, what's going on here? But it turns out it was just like a vision, what would happen if what could happen to Leonardo. And so he's really down. Leonardo is really depressed about the whole situation. So stuff later on happens. Splinter is the one who tries to get him out of this, and he's like, in the second issue, he takes him to Northampton, he takes him into the woods, and still Leonardo is blind, he doesn't see a thing. Splinter leaves him behind. Leonardo runs into some kind of creature that mocks him for his blindness, and so he tries to fight it, and he really tries to overcome this whole blindness thing, but he's got real problems. So that brings us to the third and actually the fourth issue, where Splinter gives Leonardo a special tea called Infinity. Nice, nice thing there. And yeah, that gives him a vision where he suddenly gets transported to feudal Japan. He's a samurai in feudal Japan. He's still Leonardo the mutant turtle, but he's in feudal Japan. And he's got a family, and everybody is like, hey, you're normal, because it's like, hey, I'm a mutant turtle, you know, but it's in this vision, he's normal, and he's is fighting like this daimyo character, and it's really a crazy story, like this, well, issue 3 and 4, you can call it like a 2-parter here. And he also sees visions of this guy, this homeless guy, and he realizes in the end that this is the guy that he apparently killed in the original story, that his guilt is on him, that like, I killed this innocent person during the fight with the ninja when I was blind. But Leonardo realizes that did not really happen. Yes, he stabbed that homeless person, but he was already dead back then. The ninja that attacked Leonardo was actually it was all a trick. He was already dead. Actually, the evil ninja killed the man, and Leonardo stabbed him, and then he thought that he killed him. So he lets go of his guilt, and he awakens from this vision, and he can see again. This blindness is gone. He's finally back to his old self, and yeah, that's the end of the Leonardo miniseries. Crazy stuff, gotta say.
This took me all over the place. Leonardo, a husband. Leonardo, a father. He took over like a life of somebody. Splinter's there. You can't see. Just really, I mean, what a great way to start off this podcast. Like you say, that was my favorite of the four, was Leo's. So coming up next is going to be Raphael with Shadow, and I call them the Spice Girls because this is kind of a spicy one for Raphael here.
Pretty much, yeah. The Raphael miniseries, Bad Moon Rising, which follows another tale story that we already talked about. The tale story with the werewolves, when Shadow was going to the concert and Raphael was looking over her, and everybody at the concert turned into a werewolf. And yeah, because after that, Shadow went to Northampton to be safe, so that the werewolves don't come after her. But yeah, Raph is hanging out with her there at the farm, and suddenly a little kid appears called Lulu, who is a magic kid. She's like a little witch, whatever. And also Sloane reappears. Sloane was the friend of Shadow that was turned into a werewolf and apparently killed by accident by Shadow. But it turns out, no, she got saved. She's okay. She's a werewolf now, but she's fine. And the little kid is a friend of Sloane, and she asked Raph and Shadow for help. So because her mother disappeared, and so Raph, Shadow, and the other ones, they go to this mystical, magical world. And yeah, it's all like it's a fantasy world. Raph and company, they run into vampires, they run into werewolves, they run into fish people, and it's really a wild story. It's really crazy. In the end, they're able to find Lulu's mother, so that works out. And but it's one big fantasy story that Raph gets thrown in, and it's really kind of fish out of water story because Raph is not into that stuff, so it makes it the more fun. I gotta say, it's really cool fantasy, TMNT thrown into fantasy story. It's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, and a lot of dark. It's a lot of drinking for the man too, man. He has some poison drinks. It's a crazy story. So, but that's why we love these tales, right, Christian? Because they go all over the place. They go where no other turtle territory went.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I always say. These stories, they are like, hey, we can do one story and we can pretty much do everything with it to build this world, to build some to bring in some new characters. We can do stuff like this. And as I always say, it's funny that with the turtles, they pretty much work in every environment. You can do ninja stuff, you can street level punk stuff, you can do fantasy stuff, science fiction, and the turtles, they never feel out of character. It just works. I mean, just think about when, like, I don't know, Daredevil would go to space. It would feel kind of weird, but you send the turtles to space, no problem there. That's our turtles. They're good for everywhere.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's like a pizza. You can't go wrong, pretty much, So it's hard to screw up pizza, hard to screw up the turtles. So coming up next, we've got Baxter Stockman the dog. What? This one's a very interesting one. And what's interesting about these miniseries is these are the only issues where they don't say, let me tell you a story in their first issue. They just go right into it. Mm-hmm. So feel free to drop right in, Christian, and let us know about the Donatello miniseries here.
Yeah, it's called Donatello the Brain Thief. Once again, 4-part miniseries, where this harkens back to volume 2 of the Mirage series, where the turtles fought Baxter Stockman, who was turned himself into a robot. And it turns out that after the turtles defeated him, Donatello found what was left of his body. And some of his robotic body was like this smart metal, this nano metal that it started to work on itself. And throughout this miniseries, this metal takes over creatures. It starts with just a cockroach, so Donatello fights a robotic cockroach. Then it's like a dog. Donatello fights a robotic dog, and in the end, it even takes over a human. So Donatello has to fight that one. And Donatello realizes that he cannot stop this this nanobots, this robotic intelligent metal, and which brings us to the end, because in the end, because the metal, it wants to get to Baxter. It wants to fuse with Baxter again, where it came from, the robotic body, to take over him. And in the end, Donatello finds a dog that's actually called Baxter. And he says, "That's Baxter." And the metal realizes, okay, that's Baxter. I want to take this Baxter over. So it goes to the dog. It kills the dog. And Donatello is able then to lock the robotic dog in a vault pretty much forever. So because he cannot destroy it. And yeah, it's actually a pretty dark and grim ending, because Donatello sacrifices this poor innocent dog. He's not happy about it, but he does not see any other chance. And he locks away this creature in the safe, in a vault, to never let it out again. And that's the end of the story. And it's like, whoa, that's, if you think about it, it's a bit dark, and it's but yeah, it's pretty interesting story follow up to the Baxter robot story.
Anytime you see Don and Beck, that's one of my favorite rivalries. You know, if you remember I think it was a 2003 video game for PlayStation 2 I had. You know, it was cool because every turtle had their own, like, rival boss. You know, like Raphael, I think, had Casey Jones or Hun. And with Donatello, I always avoided playing him for the end, because he always had to fight Baxter. And that Baxter Stockman, until you picked up the pattern, was so hard to fight, because he would, like, close his eyes, shoot all over the place, shoot, like, these crazy missiles. So, yeah, give me Donnie and Baxter all day, every day. I thought that was great. What I also like about these miniseries is it almost feels like cartoon vibes, because a lot of this, there's a lot less dialogue and a lot more action-packed. You notice that when you're reading these? Like, there's really not as many words in some spots. So it felt like I was in a cartoon watching these. So anyways, we've got Michelangelo here. He's got the one that hits the hardest in the gut, I would think, just because, you know, if anybody's a fan of X-Men, you've seen this story somewhat. Little similarities here. I feel bad for Mikey when he tries to fit in and just gets, you know, picked on by everybody. So feel free to take it away in our final mini-series here with Mikey.
Michelangelo, the Third Kind, which takes place during Volume 4 of the Mirage Comics, where the Utroms and aliens landed on Earth. And yeah, I see where going with the X-Men here, because it's mostly about how people fear what they don't understand. Because these aliens come to Earth, they're like, "Hey, we're peaceful. We don't want to do anything. We just want to chill here." And then people come in, like these groups of xenophobia guys, and they're like, "Hey, this is our place," and they attack aliens and they want them off planet, and you know, the usual stuff. And Michelangelo is caught in the middle of this. Because he's a mutant turtle, so everybody thinks, "Hey, you're one of those aliens." So he gets chased a lot here, and he has to fight some of these goons. And he's got a help from an Utrom, which is a very nice little team up. And yeah. In the end, they can pretty much broker some peace between aliens and humans, so it's okay in the end, but it's not like, because some people get arrested, because there was this one guy that I thought was actually pretty dark, who actually shot his mother because he thought that she was liking aliens. He's like, "No, they have to go," and so he murdered her. It's like totally crazy. And yeah, it's pretty much it. In the end, it's Michelangelo gets caught between this, and he like tries to help, but human hate is very unfortunately a very powerful weapon. So it's I mean, it's a story about aliens, but it's a little bit too realistic in some scenes. And yeah, you know, it's human hate. Yeah, it's not the best part of our life.
No, it's unfortunate, and that's why that one hits home the most, because I would say it's the most relatable. Is again something that you could see happen in real life. So, Coming up next, we've got our final 20 here. Once again, this has been fun to do with you, Christian, because in October, even with the 2012 series, we have been getting, you got to like doing these on Shellanomics. We're like, yes, oh boy, another Halloween theme. And that's when we start with issue 51. Every week we're doing something spooky. We've had a run of this for at least the last 2 months, thanks to the 2012 Nick series. So feel free to take it away with issue number 53 here, my dude.
Yeah,
51.
51, I think.
Yeah, 51.
51,
Yep,
yeah.
51, yep.
Night of the Living Gingerbread. This is actually a cute story if you think about it, because it's the turtles tell Little Shadow a nighttime story, a bedtime story, and it's about a story where the turtles get transported by Renette to a fantasy world where they meet Gutwellow, the gingerbread man. And together they are working together and to fight like zombies and to run into a dragon and all this crazy stuff. It's actually, as I said, it's a cool fantasy story. It's funny with all these fantasy characters, but in the end, it's just a bedtime story, or maybe it's a story that the turtles really lived through. We don't know. In the end, there's like a little wink there. Who maybe the story was real. We're never gonna find out. But overall, it's a fun little, turtle story there. By the way, the character that we meet in the story, the Gutwellow, the gingerbread man, is a character created by Dan Berger, who did this comic. So it's like a little crossover story.
Oh, nice.
With this character. Yeah.
Very cool. Oh, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, you know what's cool about these two is I want to say, just with a guess here with 71 issues plus the 16 in the miniseries, I'd say at least 33% of these are always ending with a what if, just to leave the reader guessing. It's like, you decide, did this happen or did this not? We're not going to give you any evidence. You decide, which I love as a reader. It just lets us think a little more. So coming up next, we've got issues 52 and 58 coming together with our yeehaw! Our Cowboys are back. I couldn't believe it. I know you hinted that they were going to come back, and they are the third time, and we get somebody else that makes a freaking awesome entrance here. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's here too? Why not?
Yeah, we're bundling these two issues together because this is the finale of the Cowboys of Moo Mesa TMNT crossover story. So the first Tales of the TMNT number 52 is called The Crystal at the Heart of the World, where the turtles once again run into the Cowboys of Moo Mesa because some evil Utroms, they are trying to steal some muta crystals, and the turtles they come to help and stop them. And yeah, as you said, we get a big cameo appearance here by none other than Cuddly the Cowlick. And that was when I saw that the first time, once again, it blew my mind. Like, wait a minute.
Me too. Yep.
This is so cool because he's like this character from the Archie comics, from the TMNT adventures, and he's like appearing, and one of the turtles even says like, "Whoa, I've got the strangest déjà vu there." And like somehow through the multiverse, he remembers him, and it's so cool because Cuddly is like this singularity in the multiverse. He exists only once because he can freely travel through time and space. He can appear everywhere he wants. So that's so cool that he appears here, and yeah, he's also helping the turtles. But in the end, this evil Utrom gang, they are able to get their hands on the crystals and on some other stuff that they want for their plan. What that plan is, we're finding out in issue number 58, which is called All Tomorrow's Yesterday, where they are, these evil Utroms, they are able to use the technology and the crystals that they got to reawaken a super strong being in the universe called Galactos. And yeah, that's the TMNT version of Galactos, the Marvel character, which is this giant space vampire that wants to pretty much destroy everything. And it even so strong that it like rips open time and space. We got some nice little cameos there. We see like the Mutanimals. We see other turtle characters. It's a little foreshadowing, kind of for Turtles Forever. And the turtles, they don't stand a chance. The Cowboys of Mesa, they don't stand a chance against this godlike being. So what will they do? Let's time travel. So they are able to go back in time and stop the Utroms from taking the crystals before they are able to take them to reawaken Galactus. So he will never be reawakened, and his coffin is floating through space, and hopefully to never be awakened and to not cause chaos in the future.
Unbelievable. I love the little Galactus spot there too. And give me more cuddly, man. Like they say in Saturday Night Live, I gotta have more cowbell. I gotta have more cuddly. It was so cool seeing him. Like, oh my god. Because when I first had him, I didn't read him in the. I don't think it was the Archie series. I don't know if you remember those little like kid collector books, like with the Intergalactic Wrestling one. It was like a little short story. Yeah. That's where I found Cuddly, because he was in there. I mean, I think it was an Archie comic too. It was where they had wrestling with Ace Duck was in it and Leatherhead. So I can't wait to do those. Was that a real issue in Archie?
Yeah. The book that you had was like an adaptation of a comic book. Yeah.
Intergalactic Space Wrestler. Oh, I can't wait to read those again. That's going to be fun.
Yeah. That's so cool.
It's going to be fun. Here we go now, though. This is actually a fun one. I didn't plan it this way, but we are streaming Pokemon, the new game that just came out on our Twitch account. And in this issue 53, someone's got to get them Pokemons for Christmas. I had to write that in my notes reading this one. So this one's a fun one. Where we've seen these guys, the little orphan aliens. I know we've seen them somewhere before, haven't we?
Yeah, that was in the original Michelangelo micro series. If you remember, they even had it in the adaptation in the 2003 cartoon. As you remember, when the Purple Dragons, they were stealing these little dolls, and these were the little orphan aliens. And as you said, in Tales of the TMNT number 53, called Alien Invaders, they reappear because at the farm, Shadow has one of these little orphan aliens, and it's a rare one. You know how it is with us.
Collectors.
As you said, with Pokemon, it's like a shiny.
Oh yeah.
And some kid sees that Shadow has them, and he wants it for himself. So he sneaks in with a friend at the farmhouse to steal it, but the turtles, they catch him, and they are dressed up like aliens. They're like, you're not stealing this, and they're just scaring away the kids. In the end, it's really a funny story, and they just run away, and the ending is so cool because like Casey and Shadow, they are on a walk, and you see these little kids running away from them, and they're like, what's going on with them? You know, it's the holidays. People go crazy over the holidays. So funny little story there.
Oh, I love this one. And what's cool, too, is, sometimes the writers want to just get their own little message in here. And I would actually love to hear these writers in, like, a public speaking event, because just another great heartfelt message here. It's not whether or not we are enough for each other. It's whether or not we are enough for ourselves. So, again, the Turtles hit you right in the feels, and, some good ethics for life, too, in these. That's why I've had so much fun reading these all for the first time. Coming up next, though, we got one of our buddies back on the run, and some very cool artwork in this one.
Yeah, Tales of the TMNT number 54, which is called A Mere Appendix, and it's all about Futuretoid, because Futuretoid gets hit and gets a little damaged, and as he's repairing himself, Futuretoid realizes, as you remember, when the Futuretoid was created, he was Professor Honeycutt, and his mind got transferred into this robot body. But during all this, Futuretoid realizes that maybe his mind was not transferred into the robot body, but was just copied into it. So he's, the whole story is about all this philosophical question, like, so am I just a copy of a real human? Am I human? Is there something still human left inside me? Or am I just a robot? And in the end, he realizes, as he's talking to some aliens about the situation, like that he met way back when he was transformed, that he realized that it does not matter. He feels that he is Honeycutt. So he is, because, with a man, if you take away his body and only his head is left, is he still human? Is it still the same? Or if you put on a robot body and only the brain is left, so is it still the same man, or is it a new creation? But in the end, he feels that he is Honeycutt. So it's like, you are, don't overthink it. You are here, you are alive, it's good. So yeah, it's a very interesting story that we can think about a lot, because it's like, what makes a human, the whole situation. Very interesting story, I gotta say, here with the Fugitoid.
Oh man, and as you said in most of these podcasts we've done, we are just giving you guys pretty much like a sample, just a taste. We highly encourage you guys, whoever listening to us here, whether you're on Christian's podcast or mine, check these out for yourself. You will not be disappointed. These have just been great from start to finish. And we've even got a lot more to go, and it's going to get darker and a lot heavier. Coming up next in issue 55, when you see Splinter on the cover, you know something good is going to happen. It's just like, ooh, what's he doing here? Is usually how I get hyped for him. And Dooney artwork for the win, and some Bruce Lee pick too in the background of the artwork. This is one of my favorites in this podcast we're doing today.
Yeah, Tales of the TMNT 55, A Day in the Life, which actually there is not much happening in the story. As the title suggests, it's a day in the life. So it shows a day in the life of the Turtles, which takes place before issue number 1, before the first issue, before the Turtles went out to fight Shredder, to fight ninjas. It's like a normal day in their life. They wake up, they hang out together, they eat breakfast, they train together. It's just a normal day. And still, this is such a wonderful story. I really like this for like a little break. There's no big evil to fight or anything. It just shows this family together, just a normal day. And it's also very nice with Raphael and Michelangelo, because Michelangelo is always mocking Raph and playing his little pranks on him and so on and so forth. But in the end, they really care about each other. It shows like really wonderful how it is. And we got like this last moment in this comic where we see like far in the future, Raphael is all alone. And he's looking up to the stars and thinks, Michelangelo, I don't know where you are, but I hope you're safe. And it's so really like, it's just this family. It's just like, this is what makes Turtles for me. It's like this team, this family, all of these parts together. This is always, because when someone asks me who is my favorite Turtle, I cannot say, because they are a unit, they are a family, they are a team. They all works together. And as I said, in this issue, not a lot happens. But still, it's such a wonderful and really a highlight of this whole series for me.
Oh, yeah. Well, for you, it's like a four-legged table. You take out one leg, you lose the whole table. So I hear you loud and clear on choosing your favorite turtle. Yeah, I enjoy that one a lot. I even put in my notes, awesome issue. I'm glad you covered it the way I would have. Coming up next, this is one of the more gruesome, almost like not X-rated, but heavily R-rated. What's interesting is we've, I guess, gone from holy spit to just putting in all the swears we want with any typos. I don't know if somebody just got typewriter happy or what they were doing here, but with Hun coming out, and I believe this is his Tales debut. I could be incorrect, not comics, but Tales debut with him and Casey. And yeah, this one's just very gruesome and very dark. Feels more like Batman to me. A lot of Batman feels here.
Yeah, see where you're coming from. And yes, this is Mirage Universe debut of Han, because he was originally created for the 2003 show. And it's funny, because I remember reading that Peter Laird was not very fond of Han at the start, because he was just a big brute. But after a while, he really grew on him. It's like, okay, there's more behind this character. And then he even adapted him into the Mirage stories. And this is the first part here with Tales of the TMNT number 56, where we get some background, even more background on Casey. Finally, some kind of backstory, where we see like Han, who's this big, this big bad guy, and he's got this rivalry with Casey, and there was the scene where Han beat up Casey, and that's what really damaged Casey. Like not only broke some bones, but also broke his brain a little bit. So that's why he's a little bit crazy, especially at the start of the series. But Han was sent to jail. But this story takes place when he gets released from jail, and he goes out there to get revenge on everyone who did him wrong. So of course he runs into Casey, he runs into the turtles, and it's really a dark, gritty story. It's really like very, very Batman-esque here, because it's really this gang, and the artwork. Once again, we can only recommend to check it out for yourself, because the artwork is really cool. It's really gritty. Some swearing in it, and it's a strong debut of Han in this series. And from the start, you realize like, ooh, he's not to be made fun of. He's really a character that you should take seriously, or he would break all your bones. And that's the start of Han in this universe. Really cool.
I always enjoy when Han's a threat. I always appreciate him in the cartoon too. He never really backed down to Shredder. He was loyal, but he was never really, afraid if he ever had to, fight him one-on-one. So coming up next, feel free to take this one away. I just have to get my little joke in there, because the Turtles are playing Monopoly in this one, and they say, Raphael, you're always in jail.
Tales of the TMNT number 57, called Gangs All Here. This is I gotta say, once again, this is like one of the stories that's like a little bit too close to reality, because the turtles, they are just hanging out, and they get caught in this gang war between the Purple Dragons and the Manhattan Militia, and and it's like a little bit like should they intervene, or should they not do anything, because it's not their war? But as there are some guns in play, the turtles realize like, okay, it could be dangerous for the neighborhood, so they intervene. They fight these rivaling gangs, and they're like, even the turtles, they'll have like these arguments like, okay, is this okay? Should we do this? And they argue among each other. They're like, in the end, they're like, hey, maybe it's time, because we are not on the same side with the story. Maybe it's time for us to like split up or anything. But in the end, like Michelangelo, is the one who's like, no, because we are family. And they're like, okay, we're staying together. We have to take care of this neighborhood with these gangs and everything. So for now, they're staying together. It's like, rivaling gangs. Once again, it's like, this is something that's all too real, unfortunately. So interesting. Once again, like turtle version of real life occurrences, I gotta say.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Coming up next, then again, we already covered issue 58 with the comeback of the Kazuma Mesa. Hun comes back, and what I'm pretty sure you appreciate this too is Hun still calls them freaks. He always, he reminds me of Shredder in the 1990s movie Freaks, and he always called them freaks in the 2003 show as well.
Yes, this is called Expose, once again by the same guys who did the Hun story, which once again is so good, so dark and gritty, and this is once again one of these stories where normal people get thrown into this unusual world of the turtles. Here we have this reporter, who is not April, who is someone else, and she realizes and takes pictures of the this gang war that's going on, as you said, with Han and everyone, and also some ninjas, and it's also mysterious. And we even get a name drop, because the boss of her is Charles Bennington.
Oh yeah,
I always thought it was like, that was nice.
Right.
And yeah, so she goes deeper and deeper in this whole ninja thing, where she even runs into the turtles. And once again, if you remember last time we talked about this issue where the turtles like run into these cops, officers who want to investigate this whole ninja situation, and they're like, hey, we're the good guys. It's pretty much the same here, where the turtles run into this reporter like, hey, we're the good guys here. You know, there are ninjas out there, there are gangs out there, bad guys, but we're the good ones here. Don't be afraid. So yeah, once again, very interesting story. As I say, I always like when normal people get thrown into this Ninja Turtles universe. They're like, okay, there's another layer to this world, to the normal world where mutants and ninjas run around in the city. So once again, really cool, really interesting story, and I cannot recommend enough to check it out for yourself, because the artwork is, in my opinion, really fantastic here, really dark, really. I love it.
Oh yeah, and even the note where they pretty much give a tip of the cap, as we say in America, like in baseball, when somebody hits a home run, they give a tip of the cap here, where they write in the note to her, some photos came out great, so you know why we have to keep them. Pretty much. Yeah. Cannot get exposed. So coming up next, one of your favorites returns here with Mr. Nobody.
Yeah, issue number 60, Nobody Does It Better, which was a big surprise, because the last time we saw Nobody in this timeline was in volume 2, where he was apparently killed as he got eaten by a giant alien starfish. That's the word I'm looking for. So yeah, that really happened. But it turns out that in this issue, he reappears. And it turns out that he was not killed, that Nobody was not killed, but he was actually healed by this starfish creature, and he became like the herald of this alien. And he got superpowers, like he could fly, and you know, the usual superpowers, superhero stuff. And he runs into Casey and Raphael here. And he's like, yeah, I'm back. Like, that's really cool. And because like this alien appears and he has to fight it. So Raph and Casey help him fight this alien. And yeah, in the end, he wins and flies away to save another day. So yeah, Nobody is still out there, and he changed. He like turned into somebody, because he's like this superhero now. Nice twist.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, just always good fun seeing it. But it's always, again, and they just do it so well with these tales too, because I don't feel, you know, sometimes you watch a show or you hear that song on the radio over and over and over again. With Leatherhead, someone else we're going to talk about soon, again, one of your favorites, one of mine too in the comics, is coming back again. Did it ever feel where it was overkill, where they kept bringing somebody back? I always thought these were very well timed in these tales.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just look at the next issue, is Tales number 61. Yeah. I mean, it's the story is called Sometimes They Come Back, and it's because in this story, the turtles once again get caught into this craziness, because like this character called Razorback appears in the city. Razorback was a character that was, if I remember correctly, introduced in issue number 50. That was the Monster Island story with Leatherhead and Marlin, and he was also there. Who's like this all armored guy, and he's got like these weird powers where he can like extend his arms, make them all gooey, and it's kind of weird. It's kind of strange. We don't really know who he is, where he comes from, but he's causing chaos there. The turtles try to find out what's going on, and we get a big comeback here, because this guy uses Mousers that he apparently stole from some old Stockman warehouse, and so yeah, it took a while, but the Mousers are back. The turtles fight him. The turtles fight the Mousers. Yeah, it's once again a big action-packed issue. Really cool, really crazy. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it as far as I remember.
Yeah, we never get tired of saying great artwork. I've got that in almost every issue, but there's some I want to emphasize that I enjoy more than others. But a little cool foreshadowing here too is we do get a right here with Michael Bay, and then I had to double check because I'm reading this after it came out. This came out in 2009, so a 5-year little, hey, maybe. A little foreshadowing? Probably not, but just funny that we do see Michael Bay's name in here because eventually, as most Turtle fans know, he made his own Turtle movies back in 2014 and 2016. So always fun to see little tidbits like that when it's like, oh yeah, if you go back in time. So
that's such a funny scene where Michelangelo is like the one because there's a big explosion and Michelangelo is like, that's just like Michael Bay. Michael Bay rocks. And Raphael is like, you're an idiot and no longer my brother.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm glad you remember that spot too. So next one is one I believe anybody who has been a father or a mother or owner of a beloved pet, whether it's a cat, a dog, a bunny. Mikey pretty much he misses his cat and he tries to fill a void, and it's just something that's pretty much impossible to do. Ain't that right in this issue?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're completely right with the whole losing a pet thing here, because remember, Michelangelo lost Clunk, and he's really sad about it. So some Utrom friends, they're like, hey, we have this bunny here, you can take care of the bunny. But unfortunately, the bunny was an experiment, and as Michelangelo and Raphael take care of the bunny, it starts to transform into like this kind of alien tentacle creature monster. So it's like a creature feature story. It reminded me a bit of the movie The Thing from the 80s, because it even takes on the form of the turtles, like, hey, we are normal here. But yeah, it's this creature and it's really crazy. Once again, a little bit horror there, and it's so funny because Raphael is the one who fights the creature, and then Michelangelo comes back and it's turned into like this cute little bunny again. It's like, it was a monster. Like, yeah, right. Cool little monster story. I love those creature features. So yeah, it works for me.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Another good one here. There's all these have been fun. And now, well, we've got a couple comebacks still in these as we're getting down to the nitty gritty, and Crikey is the best I can say it. I'm terrible with the other accents, but this reminds me of the Crocodile Hunter here with Crikey for a big game hunter with our buddy Leatherhead coming back.
Yeah, you're right, matey. And with Tales of the TMNT 63 called Monster Island, which is a follow-up to Tales number 50, once again with the whole Monster Island story. So this story starts right where issue number 50 ended. The turtles, they are flying away on a helicopter from this Monster Island, and Marlin was attacked by these monster creatures, but once again he survives, and he like shoots down the helicopter. So the turtles, they land on this Monster Island, like all these creatures on it, like the Chupacabra and all these creatures are on this island. So Leatherhead is also there, and the turtles and Leatherhead, they have to fight through this island to get off it. And yeah, Marlin is also after them. So we got all this big thing. Yeah, some Mothman are even there. It's really crazy. And in the end, the turtles are able to get off the island, but the ending is pretty funny because Marlin gets eaten by none other than Nessie, the monster from Loch Ness. And so that's his end for now. Will he come back? We don't know. He came back from worse. So yeah, that's the end of the Monster Island story arc, I think.
Yeah, it was a little not confusing. I just wish we had a little bit more of that guy. I think it's always cool. They did that once, I think, in the 2003 series too, with a girl, and she always yells "Parker," kind of like the big game, like hunting type stuff with the monsters. So I always think those are kind of cool too with these gigantic turtles. So. Anyways, those 64, once again, love the artwork. The Michelangelo with the trench coat gives you a really cool feel. Feel free to take it away. And we also have page 8. I just got to give a quick prop to the Batman touch as well.
The story, which is called The Burning Man, is a very interesting story because it's told completely by Michelangelo. Michelangelo is the one, that happens, and it shows all from his perspective. So there's some really funny bits there where, like, for example, there's a scene where Leonardo lectures Michelangelo, and all you see is blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, that's so funny. And in the story, like, there's this... the Burning Man, which is like this creature that goes after this guy, big company guy, and Michelangelo tries to save him. In the end, able to help him stop the creature, and in the last moment, we see a scene where all these gangster bosses who this company guy was also one of them. They come together. We see Han again. We see some other like King Cobra and some other gang members, and they're like having this big meeting to talk about what will they do next. And that's the end of that story. And gotta say, unfortunately, we never find out what happens next. So this storyline was open-ended. Because before they could finish it, unfortunately, Tales was ended. So very sad because I wanted to know more with all these gangsters. I mean Han and Co. That would have been really interesting to see more of. So yeah, but unfortunately, that never happened. So yeah, that story was open-ended.
Yeah, I wrote that too in my notes, to be continued. Like, oh man, that would have been such a great story to expand on, because all the ones we've seen, Cowboys of Moo Mesa coming back, 2 more times after their origin in this universe was great. We get some I don't want to say closure, but in my notes here, this next one takes place during around Christmas, and yeah, I've mentioned a lot, like, I never got my Christmas. Well, Mike, you got your Christmas in the comics, and you really don't need to go anywhere else, because this is just another awesome feel for Christmas. And we get another, are you kidding? He's back again? Feel free to bring us in for this one, dude. This one was awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Once again, the artwork by Dan Berger. I love his art. Story is called Cold, Cold Eyes. And yeah, as you said, it's around Christmas time. Turtles and family, they're hanging out at the farmhouse. And it's snowing. And suddenly they get attacked by like this ice creature, the snow creature that mystical. He's from the foot. He's created this, and he's got like this very sad backstory where he like stole money from the Oroku family, and they said that they have to bring them the turtles, or like his family will pay. And to save his family, he like sacrifices himself because this magic apparently destroyed himself in the end. So very sad backstory there. The big part is here that the turtles fight this snow creature, which was pretty cool. And as you said, we got a comeback there, because who appears as a ghost? It's none other than the Red King, who appears in front of Splinter. They have this connection, Splinter and the Red King, they always had this connection. And he appears as a ghost to like warn him of what's coming. So nice little cameo there with the Red King. Pretty cool, pretty good story, awesome artwork. Nothing else to say.
Pretty much. So we're getting down here, guys. This is near the end. We've got some sad notes again, like we were talking about, guys. If you do get these comics, feel free to read them. There's always a very nice, friendly letter from the writers. And when I read this one, I was a little sad, like, oh, that's right. It's like, hey, guys, this is kind of near the end. Mirage is closing. I've done nothing but Turtles pretty much my whole life. A lot of the writers saying here, just it's a little bittersweet that we're closing up shop here. So, Christian, what was going on with Mirage at this time, for those who are unaware?
Yeah, that was at the end of 2009, and that was the time when Peter Laird was selling all his rights to Viacom Nickelodeon. Because Peter Laird with Mirage Studios was the sole owner of the Turtles. But in 2009, like, Nickelodeon came up to him and like, hey, we're going to give you a lot of money for the Turtles. And yeah, as you said, for most of his life, he only did Turtles and he loved to do it, but he got older and he was like, okay, what will I do next with my life? Will it all be about Turtles or will I do something else? And then they came up and like, okay, I think this is the right time now. So he sold the Turtle rights to Nickelodeon Viacom, and that was the part where like, okay, we're gonna stop doing this. We're gonna stop Mirage Comics. He still has the rights to publish TMNT Comics, like. Maybe in the future, someday, he will finish Volume 4. He still has the rights to do it on his own. But that was the part when he was like, okay, now we're going to do a cut. We're going to stop Tales. So there are only a few more issues left. And that was the end of that pretty much. And some years later, Mirage Studios closed down for good. And yeah, Mirage Studios, it does not exist anymore, which really it makes me really sad, because Mirage Studios was always there. TMNT was Mirage Studios, and that does not exist anymore. So it's like an end of a legacy. It's this end of this story. So that was a big change in the TMNT. In the life of the TMNT.
Yeah,
I mean, I know where we are right now, and I'm glad for the stuff we got. But Mirage Studios, it was, I don't know how I should put it. It's the end of an era.
Yeah. That's where, and like we've said before, it was just for Peter Laird. I don't say this in a bad way. I just say I feel when he, was stepping down, he was able to quote unquote right a few wrongs. I know we didn't like where the Turtles were going with a couple things. Me and you enjoy and appreciate just about anything Ninja Turtles, but I know personally, if you're the one who made them and they were making them, like he said, he was not a fan of Venus de Milo. He was not a fan of how the cartoon got slapsticky. The second movie, Secret of the Ooze, was kind of too childish. So he's like, you know what? During this Peter Laird era, I guess you can say maybe from 03 to 09, he got to do it all. We got the 2007 movie, which a lot of people still talk about as one of the greatest creations of TMNT. A lot of us are upset we didn't get a sequel. He got the cartoon he wanted that we've discussed. The comics are there. He got to do his own, like you say, the volumes 1, 2, and 3, which will eventually break down here. So yeah, guys, this is it. We've got 5 more episodes. But Christian, if you want, before we do the final 5, would you like to talk about the Japan Renette one? Are you familiar with this one? Because when I was reading, they technically have 71. And I guess if it's cool with you, I'd like to talk about this one first prior to number 70, because that's like the true farewell, if that makes sense.
Oh, so you're talking about the unofficial 70 Tales of the TMNT number 71.
That's okay, cool.
Okay. That was okay. That's a weird story, because it is actually an official Mirage story, but because that's like a new version of TMNT number 8, which was the introduction of Renette, Savanti Romero, the crossover with Cerebus, but. Back then in the 2000s, Peter Laird and company did not know if they were allowed to reprint this story because of Cerebus, because that was a different character from another comic story. So they created another story where Renette and Savanti Romero are introduced, a completely different story. But then they got the right to do the reprints of the original number 8, so they never had to print this comic, but it got printed. So the alternate version of number 8 was printed in, I think, in some states like Brazil or Spain. In some books, it appeared, and but. It was reprinted as a fan edition. Some fans got their hands on it. They printed it as Tales of the TMNT number 71, which is, as I said, the introduction, like another timeline where the Turtles meet Renette for the first time, and they have this crazy adventure in the past time where they run into like crazy creatures and Savanti Romero and its magic, and it's all crazy stuff. And yeah, that, as I said, was printed unofficial as Tales number 71. But it got its, I gotta say, it got its official release. That was not so long ago, because IDW is putting out this best of collections where like best of Raphael, best of Splinter, and so on and so forth. And they recently released a best of Renette book where they printed this story, which what was it called? The Paradox of Chudnovsky. For the very first time official in English. So if you want to check out this story for yourself, check out Best of Renette, because they printed this story officially in this book. Wow. So I hope I got everything right there.
No, you did, my friend. Thank you very much. Because I want to make sure we end on a good note. And it was like, I forgot to ask him before we went live if he's cool with this, but I forgot we got the living legend himself with us. He pretty much knows just about anything there is to know about Ninja Turtles. So very well said, my dude. So
I'm giving my best.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And yeah, we got our final 5 now. Like I said, we've got our note here. Mirage is coming to an end. Even when you see the old cartoon, you would see that Mirage Studio spot. Because like you say, that was, pretty much how Marvel is Marvel. That was Mirage Studios was Ninja Turtles. So we've got 5 left. And who let the dogs out? Tons and tons of dogs in this one.
Yeah, Tales number 66. There's no place like home is the story. And yeah, that's pretty much a lot of dogs go missing in the neighborhood. And it turns out that some punks, some gang members, they are like kidnapping pets, some dogs, and they then like bring them back to the owners to get the reward money, to make some money. So pretty crazy scheme there. And the turtles find out about this, and they pretty much they take care of the punks and get the dogs back to their owners. So yeah, it's a nice little story. It's just a one-off story. Like, okay, it's another adventure in the turtles' life where they save some kidnapped dogs. Yeah. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Who wouldn't want to help out a man's best friend over there? So we got 67 coming up, and it's almost like, that prank phone call with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Kindergarten Cop. Who is your daddy, and what does he do?
Yeah, the story is called Schooled, and the main story is about little Shadow who goes to kindergarten for the first time. They're like this elite kindergarten, and Casey and April, they did everything to get her in there. And it's so cute because like we have like this moment where Casey is like, my little girl is growing up, and we have all this big anime eyes, like crying. It's so cute. And yeah, she's going to kindergarten, and unfortunately some kids make fun of her because like Casey is not a rich man like some of the others. So Shadow gets really angry, and she starts talking about like, no, but my father is a superhero. And she even starts talking about the turtles, and like they are superheroes too, and they fought bad guys and aliens and so on and so forth. And well, of course, nobody believes her. So when some kids make more fun of her, she even punches one in the face because she's Casey's daughter. And so so Casey have to take Shadow home, and she's really sad, and it's like, oh no, I messed up. And there's like this cute father-daughter moment, like, no, it's all good, it's all fine. And but there's a little side story there where Raphael helps a woman who gets beaten by her friend or husband, I'm not sure here, and he helps her, and at first she fights off this freak creature, but later she comes back and is like, yeah, you only wanted to help, and I see it now that you're a good guy, so thank you. So it's like this little moment, like, okay, Raphael tries to do the right thing, and at first he gets kicked for it, but later it's like, okay, I realize you did the right thing, so it's good. And so 2 interesting stories here side by side in this comic.
Oh yeah. Now for me personally, coming up next is issues 68 to 70, and this is one I'd love everybody, we just talked about while reading the notes, this is one I'd love everybody to read if you're ever feeling down in the dumps, just to reflect on your own personal life. This is a very touchy subject here, cancer. One of the writers had cancer, and this issue talks about it. It works for me where the turtles go, and actually, like the story you're going to talk about here. But just for me, if they knew this was ending, this would have been okay for me to have be the final issue. I would have pushed this to be number 70, just because it's a very, not a happy ending, but just something to reflect about on your life here for me personally.
Oh, absolutely. Story is called Heroes in a Half Cell, and in the story, Robin, April's sister, gets cancer. She gets some kind of alien cancer, and the turtles, of course, they want to help her. So they get shrunk down and they go inside Robin's body and they fight off these cancer cells because they're like, as I said, they're like this alien cancer, which is some kind of sentient. So they fight it off. And with some help outside from the doctors, they are able to stop it. So Robin gets better. And as you said, it's really... It's a touching story because cancer is a horrible thing, and and to like get the story like, okay, the turtles, they are there to help, and they go all this length to fight this to find this sickness and help someone, and it's we wish this could be real. Like, okay, we know someone who has cancer. Like, hey, turtles, can you come over and help us? That would be wonderful. Unfortunately, that's not always the case. But for this story, it's like it's a touching story. And once again, it's it sounds funny when I say this because it's a story about 4 turtles who get shrunk down to fight a sickness in someone's body. But with the whole cancer story, it feels real once again. So very, very interesting topic that they chose for this comic.
Yeah, and the good news too, at this time at least, when they wrote this back in the early 2000s or mid-teens, I think 2009-ish, Jake Black, like you said, in this issue he was cured of it. He had no more cancer in his body, so very happy for that man, and thank you for all your work and passion for being a turtle writer and anything you did in the Ninja Turtle universe for us. So 69 is probably the final, like, what if, like, will this happen? Could this happen? Just another great one here is trying to, even though we all have our own destiny, trying to prevent things that happen. Really cool one right here.
Yes, story is called Dark Shadows, and well, it's about Shadow, but she's all grown up. This is a future story. And she became a ninja. She was training, she became a ninja. She is good with the sword, and she's walking around this this kind of post-apocalyptic world. We know this world, it's flooded, it's pretty much destroyed, and she's looking for her sensei in this world. And she runs into some ninjas, and she fights ninjas, and it's really, once again, really action-packed until she finds her sensei, who turns out to be Raphael. And they have this argument like, you left me. And so they fight, and it turns out that Shadow is the one who, like, during the fight, because of the fight, she takes Raphael's eye, because Raphael in the future is missing one eye, and she's cutting him with her katana, and he's losing an eye because of that. And we get this moment where we see that Renette is actually showing present time Raphael this possible future, and she's like, this will happen, this will be the outcome if you train Shadow. But it's also like, but this is like the best outcome of them all, because it could only get worse for Shadow if she's not trained. So it's like Raphael then is like, okay, then I have to do it, even if I lose an eye. So I said before, I'm really there for a good time travel story, and this is very interesting because, like, okay, I know what's gonna happen. It's like this whole loop thing, like, if I do this will happen again and again and again. So I really it's really interesting story, and it's also like, okay, so that's what this world will come to. And it's really dark, gritty, and very post-apocalyptic, I gotta say.
Oh yeah. So we've got one more left here, buddy, and then we'll do our final thoughts on the whole Tales series. We've got one more, and we've got one more group of people coming back too in this one.
Oh yeah, Tales of the TMNT number 70, which is called Return to New York, Book 1.5, Zog. And yeah, it's really cool that for the last issue in this series, they made this callback to Return to New York, one of the most well-known turtle stories. And it's like an insert because if you remember in the Return to New York story, we saw that Raphael ran into Zog, the Triceraton, in the sewers. And when the other turtles came later, they found Raph and he had Zog like as a buddy. But in this story, we find out how that happened. Because Raphael found Zog, but Zog attacked Raphael, and Raphael had to fight, and he got captured by Zog. And and there's also like a foot ninja who is also there, and he has to fight him too after a while, and so on and so forth. And which brings us to like in the end when Raphael is able to convince Zog that he is actually like a Triceraton in disguise. Like, hey, my name is Zoref, and I'm your leader now. And this is the moment when Zog is like, okay, leader Zoref, I will do what you say. And that's the moment when Raph like more or less befriended Zog, and they like became a team. And that's where this story ends, and where then Return to New York Part 2 takes off. So it's like this insert story, and for this, it's really good. It really works well so that we get some more explanation of what happened in the Return to New York story, especially with Raph and Zog. So yeah, it was nice that they did this, and it's really cool that they did this for the final issue there, to like a callback to a long ago story. So bring like the present and the past together. But yeah, it's a bittersweet ending because we know, in my opinion, there were still some stories that could have been told in this series. But for that was the last issue of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, that's it, friends. We've done it. 71 issues plus the miniseries for all 4 turtles, so close to 90 total now. Final thoughts from me. This is similar to Michael Jordan in the NBA retiring the second time. He was still not in his, Air Jordan prime-esque, but there still was a lot of life left, and I feel there was at least another year, maybe 2 more years of life left before this started to even come close to just not running dry, but maybe fans are starting to get a little tired of it. I was not tired reading any of these. I did the Hulk Hogan intro for one of these, with the tell me a story, brother. How excited I was for these. We've broken them all down. Like Christian said, these hit you in the feels in so many ways. It's gonna it touches all your emotions. You get pissed, you get angry sometimes when the bad guys are winning. You feel love and joy when, like the father and daughter moment, like you say with Casey Jones and his daughter Shadow in this one here. April and Casey, the proposal, which was pretty cool. You get sadness with Michelangelo and Clunk passing away. You get some chuckles and laughs there, like you say with Michelangelo, kind of like being the narrator of it with blah, blah, blah from Leonardo with the dialogue. So you get stories that we even didn't know we wanted, and we got with the Cowboys of Moo Mesa coming in 3 times. I mean, you get cameos. The Rat King was phenomenal. And again, Christian, for those, again, in case this is the first time they're on Shellonomics, this started, back in the 80s, and then it came back, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There are 2 volumes. The first volume were only 7 issues. As you said, they were in the 80s. And then they restarted it in the 2000s with volume 2, which ran up to issue 70, which was the longest running Mirage Comics line, because the other one was volume 1, which ran up to 62. So there are like 8 more issues here. It's just the longest running in the Mirage universe. And yeah, as you said, this is these tales, they're like they are from all over the place in this in continuity wise, I gotta say, because like some stories take place even before issue number 1, then some of this take place during volume 1, between volume 1 and volume 2, and then later on with volume 4 and so on, and some of the future, and it's like stories from all the places in the TMNT timeline. And it's so cool because we also got like all these different styles. We got funny stuff, we got gritty stuff, dark stuff, bloody stuff, and some even who hit you right in the feels. We get turtle stories where the turtles don't even appear in. Like we got one issue that was all about Karai. And all these different artists and all these different story writers, they all had their crack at the stories. They could like, hey, you want to tell a story? Go for it, do it. And some, as I said, some of the artwork was a more funny, was more goofy. Some of it was totally realistic looking. So once again, you get everything. And yeah, some of the stories I think are cooler than others. Some of the stories are like, oh, that's one of the best turtle stories ever. But none of the stories are like, that was stupid. I did not care about this at all. Some of these are goofy, as I said, but they're still funny and entertaining and just one-off stories, just little turtle stories for the turtles' life. And I was all there for it. And it was actually sad to see this series go, because there were still some stories to be told. Like, as I said, there are some stories here, some storylines that never got a proper ending. That like with Han and the gang war stories, like, okay, I want to know what happens there. There's still so much mysterious story. Or if you remember when the turtles helped Hattori Gosai with the female ninja who had the shredder claws, who was like, I will get my revenge for what was it, for what the Hamato clan did to my family. We never found out who she was. We never got a follow-up story to that. So like, I want more. I want more. So yeah, this Tales was really great, was really cool. And it's Mirage TMNT in its purest form. And for that, I will always love it and always come back for to revisit these stories.
Yep, the Dream Team too. Like you say, I mean, it was pretty much Turtle Prime. Like you say, this is Mirage. This is where the Turtles came from.
Yeah.
All these artists and writers. Peter Laird chimes in once in a while in some of these stories, and it was really cool, like you were saying too, because the artwork of all the turtles, sometimes they're big and like, what the hell, kind of like steroid, like, you know, Godzilla turtles. Then you get your original, like, these are my turtles. Then you get a little different, some little more muscular. And then just they're all so different, unique stories. Like Leonardo is drugged, he kills somebody. What? I mean, Raphael loses an eye if it goes this way. Tons and tons of horror stuff for those, if you're checking this out in October when we're, you know, producing this. If you want to just take a dive into Turtles, you know, I'm in a Halloween mood. Is there anything good with the Ninja Turtles? Yes, there's plenty of them right here in the Tales. So, dude, we did it. Thank you again for all your help. So, if anybody wants to know what's going on in the present of the TMNT comic universe, where can they find you, Christian?
Oh, if you're interested in current comics, well, I've got the place for you, which is my podcast, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Talk. You can check out the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much everywhere, or just go to my website, tmnttalk.com, where you also can find all the social media stuff, you know, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. I'm pretty much everywhere with the podcast. So yeah, check it out if you're into the current comics by like IDW. And so yeah, that's come on over. Let's check it out and let's talk turtles. I'm all there for it.
Oh man, it's just like, again, like you always say, we love your channel too, 'cause you got everything. You got the Casey Jones, Shredder, IDW, Saturday Morning Adventures. It's hard. There's so much Turtles going on, you can't even say it all in one breath, my friend.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, my dude. Well, as always, we'll leave with until next time. Thanks again, Christian.
Until next time, my dudes.
Another episode of Shellonomics is in the books. If you guys have not yet checked out all of our other amazing episodes, we've had amazing guests. We've talked about the 1987 cartoon, 2003 cartoon, Next Mutation, coming out of their shells, video games, the comics, crossover comics like Batman and the Power Rangers, and tons of amazing content with you guys, the fans. Be sure to stop by our YouTube channel, Spotify, and Twitch. And if you have somebody who'd like to be on the show, get in touch with us at kingmikedas@gmail.com. That's KINGMIKEDAS@gmail.com.